Well, everyone, our seminarian is from First Pre-Theology in the Diocese of Arlington. Robbie Renner, yes, First Pre-Theology. You guys here? Rob comes from, as I said, the Diocese of Arlington from Northern Virginia. He loves to hike and to backpack, and I learned that as growing up, he also helped to raise chickens and horses and goats. Where is Robbie? Where did Rob go? Goats? Goats, it's real. Yes, goats. He's not from Wichita or Lincoln or anywhere. He is from Arlington. And of course, Rob likes to play soccer, so that's why we accepted him. So without further ado, we're very happy to have Rob come and tell us his vocation story.
As Monsignor Baker said, my name is Robbie Renner, First Pre-Fee for the Diocese of Arlington. And yes, Ebuka, God is faithful, but what also is required in that is us being faithful to God. So my story, sort of about God, myself, boxes, and chicken. So I was born and raised youngest of four, cradle Catholic, and just a fantastic family. We were always around at the church. All of us went to what do you call it? School. That's right. Yeah. School at a Catholic school as well as high school altogether, and it was awesome. I was the youngest, so I was brought around everywhere as a kid, and it was awesome to see my siblings growing, and also, especially for myself, to be around the parish and to see our priests. I just hold this. Yes. Sorry, Marianne's back. Oh, this is better. Okay, great. Yes, just to see our priests, especially as a really young kid. So, by kindergarten, when I was walking around the school and I was a celebrity because I used to sing whenever I walked into classrooms when my mom was delivering a script. I would see the priest and I'd say, wow, I want to be a priest. I want to be like you when I grow up. I run up to our bishop whenever he was in town for confirmations or whatever. I'd run up to him and say, Bishop, do you remember me? And he said, oh, yes, my son. I said, no, what's my name? He learned pretty quick. And I would tell him, I want to be a priest. I want to be a priest. So I grew up, and then, as for many of us, what happens is that changes. Whether it's you finally see a girl, like, wow, I really like her. Wait, I can't do that as a priest. Let me just not do that. And I really became afraid to actually own this as something that I legitimately wanted to do. So I remember being asked at a party in 8th grade by a good friend, his uncle, saying, okay, so you want to be a priest as a kid? Like, what do you think about that now? No, I don't think that's what I'm going to do. Notice it was what I am going to do. God is nowhere in this picture. He was in my life, but he was, like I said, the story's about boxes, right? He's in a very nice little box over there for Sunday, for whenever I'm there at the parish, and I'm serving. That's where God is, and I'm going to keep him there. I'm not going to let him actually into my heart. When I was there sometimes, though, that did happen, but it stayed there. I wasn't truly honest with myself, so that in high school, when I find myself in adoration on an off chance, really, and I meet Christ and I experience the peace that he gives us in our heart, I just leave it there in the box. And I walk away and I say, that was nice, but that has no weight on my life. So my freshman year of college, I went to a small school in Georgia, and I met this non-denominational missionary named Stephen. And Stephen took me out to a chicken place called Zaxby's, and it was fantastic. And it was great because we just talked for a long time, and then he finally asked me, so like, you're Catholic, like what does that mean? So I started to explain to him all these awesome doctrines of the faith. Because I went to Catholic school all my life, and you take a theology class, you take a class about the church history, and so I loved the church, I loved the teachings of the church, it all made sense. And I was sharing it with him, I'm like, yeah, and this is why you should be Catholic, because it's awesome. And he's like, cool, like, do you pray? And I'm like, well, yeah, there's this thing called the rosary, and this is how you do it, and now we're going to get into Mary and talk about Mary. It's like, well, oh, and I just started to realize that, wow, like, I'm saying all these things, but I'm not living, I'm not really giving Christ my heart. Something that, of course, we know. But there's the really cliche line, I think it's cliche, but Mother Teresa said it, so it's that much. Isn't Mother Teresa, the longest distance on earth is 18 inches between the head and the heart? I think it's Mother Teresa.
If it's not, it should be.
If it's not, it should be, right. And that was the case for me. So by my junior year of college, I went to a different school at that time. I transferred to the University of Mary Washington in Fredericksburg, back in the Diocese of Arlington. And I met another missionary named Nick. And we were at a different chicken place, Chick-fil-A. I don't know what it is, missionaries and chicken. So he asked me, we got to know each other, and then he asked me, so why are you Catholic? I thought about that for a minute. I don't know. Well, my parents are Catholic, right? I was raised this. I've experienced suffering in my life. I've experienced trouble. It seems to have worked for them. Maybe if I lived my life out in this same faith, maybe that'll work. And then there's also these awesome, all of the intellect of the church, right? Everything I knew in my head about the church, everything I knew, it all just made sense, and I loved it. And so he asked me, well, do you pray? The missionaries have a certain way of going about things, it seems like. Do you pray? And I said, well, not really, but I know I should. And at that point, I've been knowing it for really all my life, but really strongly for about a year or two. And so he invited me. Why don't you start with 15 minutes a day in the chapel, in silence, where you can meet Christ. Step into that box and let him in. And that's what happened. I stepped into the box, and Jesus was there. And then I broke the box, and I let him into the rest of my life. So, where did I come off my track here? Jesus does that. So that day, that's a good way to go. Jesus derails things. So at that point, I didn't really know exactly what I was going to do. I was studying geography. I really enjoyed GIS, which is Tim Berger, Geographic Information Systems. Basically, imagine a giant database represented on a map. So all the election maps that you see, I was studying that, and I could produce that in about 10 minutes on a map like that. A lot of fun, really cool thing to do. And I was thinking, that'd be a really great thing to do. And I was getting more involved in the Catholic campus ministry, and I started to notice a lot of pretty girls, and I'm like, wow, and they love Jesus too. Not only am I attracted to them, but also wow, they also have this same love of Jesus that I'm finding. And so I was about to ask this girl out. I was playing in the back of my head, and I said, all right, I'll wait next week. And so a Wednesday, I'm at the campus ministry, and I'm studying, and up walks our parish priest, and he says, just kind of in passing, God is always calling good men to the priesthood. Well, that's funny, Father. I'm glad it's not me. And just really brushed it off, because I figured, this is as a kid, I was basically conditioned to be a priest, right? All these priests as a kid would tell me, you want to be a priest? That's awesome. Let's foster this love of this vocation. And so I blew him off, basically. Very next day, we have Sister Claire, the Franciscan Sisters of Eucharist, that just joined us on the evangelization trip. Sister Claire Hunter, that was with us, came and spoke to our campus ministry. And she gave this awesome talk. And if you've met her, then you know she just has this New York attitude. And we had some really great banter together, and I just, really respected her. And afterwards, after that talk, she comes up to me. She says, hey, I know that this is weird. And I know that Father Vaccaro told you the same thing last night, but I think that you have a priestly vocation, and you need to, at least at the very minimum, discern this. Because this might be the way that you become the holiest, that you become your absolute best. So, I took the slap in the face of the Holy Spirit as a pretty direct sign. And didn't ask that girl out, and began discerning. It took about a month to finally realize where Jesus fit, because he went out of the box, right? So I got rid of the box and I said, all right, Jesus, like, come out into everything. And now we'll swap analogies into the car. And Jesus was there kind of, waiting, telling me where to go. He's my navigator. And I just wasn't listening. I just wanted to know right now. I was happy to listen, but I wanted to know right now in this very instant, what's your plan for me? Am I going to be a priest? Should I worry about this? Should I worry about that? And for about a month, at that point I was doing a holy hour. I would walk out, and I spent the entire hour. Imagine just thinking for an entire hour, tell me now, and someone not telling me something. And for about a month, I just left angry. The same peace that I found in Christ was not, for obvious reasons, I was not experiencing. So, I don't know how it clicked or why it clicked, but it finally clicked. Oh, you're in charge. Okay. Well, what am I going to do today? And the answer to that wasn't it wasn't any direct words spoken to me, but it was something I already knew, right? Because there's these things of the faith that were already taught, and we hear every Sunday, and it's to love Him right now in this moment, right now in this day. So, okay, well, what about tomorrow? Same thing. What about the next day? Same thing. And then I started thinking, all right, well, what about all these other vocations, right? I see the beauty in marriage, I see the beauty in religious life, I see the beauty in the priesthood. Well, what about those? I said, do you think you wouldn't love me in each of those? And I said, oh, well, I guess yeah. We're called, no matter what in our vocation, to love Jesus, and that's where what I realized. And so I finally put Jesus was listening to him in the navigator's seat, and was just going day by day. All right, let me run closer to you. Let me know you more, and then while I get to know you more, it'll come. And it got to the point where, in my prayer, I said, "Well, Jesus, should I ask for an application? Should through my diocese, I know that this is the place that I want to serve. Should I ask for the application?" And of course, and it was a yes, and just kind of positive along the whole way. And pretty early on along in that discernment too was as well, were these legitimate? As a kid, when I wanted to be a priest, and all of these other priests all along the way, was that a legitimate call? Are these a part of it? And I mean, so far, it seems like those are pulling me in this direction to be in seminary today. Tomorrow for the year. I'm not packing up tonight. I'll motor truck, but she always drives that. It's for the chickens and goats. But that for this time, and in prayer, meeting Christ, knowing that yes, this is the place that I'm supposed to be, and there's just a contentment and a peace in my own heart in knowing that, right now this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Because right now in what I'm doing here, I am loving Christ. I am, well, at least trying to walk towards Christ and to work to be a saint. And to close, my dad, this past January, so I just graduated in the spring from Mary Washington, and so this was going back to school in January, and he said something to me, and it just rocked my world. Dad, I don't know if I showed this on my face or what you thought of it when you said it. But he said, "I love you for who you are and not for what you do," which is basically the cross. I love you for who you are and not for what you do. It's God's love for us. It's completely total and it's completely free. No matter what you do, whether he tells me I think you'd be a great husband, a great father, I think you'd be a great priest, I think you will do great at whatever you do, and we're always here to support you. And we love you purely because you are our child, because you are my son. That is why I love you. Not for anything you do. I don't love you more that you're in the seminary, or for any choices you do, but I love you for that. So that's just one thing to remember, that the parents, my own parents, get to image to me is the love of Christ in the family for me, for their son, that we love you for who you are and not for what you do. Thank you.